going on, dudes and dudettes? No, this blue under my USC jersey is not for UCLA. It's for Duke. I had to support them too. The men's team playing earlier on today, but you'll most likely hear about that in a separate video. But speaking of those USC women's basketball players, yes, before this game against UCLA this last week, Juju Watkins was named, of course, the Big Ten co-player of the week, so nothing different for her. And then she was also partnered up with United Airlines, so they did a nice photo shoot, all that stuff too. But it's kind of amazing, like how many things she's gone into, like Gatorade, State Farm, United Airlines, Nintendo, NYX Cosmetics, also on the covers of Boardroom and Essence magazines, and of course that docu-series that Peacock put out, following her basically towards the end of her senior year and her first year at USC. I was able to watch that whole thing. It was pretty short, like maybe like 5 or 6 episodes, so hopefully they did continue it onto this sophomore season, but either way, still pretty good. But speaking of that UCLA matchup, yes, apparently whoever won that game tonight basically won the Big Ten in-season championship. Yes, you still have to play the end of the regular season, big season tournament and get that award also, but I guess this is a little consolation prize to the team that ends up winning it during the regular season. So yeah, it's a big time showdown when it comes to that. But it also came down to like the crosstown rivalry update when it comes to the cup between the both schools. USC is leading 40-20, and you can now add another victory to that because the women took down the Bruins at UCLA 80-67. Obviously, they still run LA, and that was great to see them host up the trophy. And obviously, it's their second Big Ten championship as they are part of this new conference, but they also won their first on the women's soccer team, defeating UCLA in the final round in there too. So yeah, it's pretty cool that they're able to win both their first championships against the lonely Bruins. But yeah, hopefully they can still continue to move on up, because right now they are considered like the 3rd overall seed, so they are still a number 1 seed when it comes to the March Madness tournament projections. But I think this might have bumped them up to maybe at least a 2nd. Could be challenging for that number 1 overall seed. But if they were to go straight through and win those, 3 games in the tournament, because now they will have like a double bye, so they won't have to play the first 2 days of the tournament being the number 1 team there. But if they end up at least going farther, win a couple games, in my opinion, they should be a number 1 or 2 overall seed, and kind of depict where they end up playing in certain markets and stuff, and against certain teams too when it comes to the side of the bracket. But yeah, looking to see what ends up happening for these women. They are definitely on a hot streak right now, and Juju has always promised to bring a championship back to USC and LA, so hoping for the best in this situation. And then when it came to Isaiah Pola-Mao, the ex-USC safety, he signed a 2-year extension deal worth up to $8.45 million with those Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, they took a chance on him and drafted him, and he's obviously been pretty good for them overall his first couple years in the NFL. So good for him for getting to take some of that free money from those Las Vegas Raiders. So congrats to him. And then ex-USC cornerback Akai Blackman, who hurt his ACL or tore it like during last training camp. He looks like he's now pretty close to being 100% healthy and will be out there competing all that stuff in this new training camp coming up soon within a couple of months. So yeah, good luck to him, and hopefully some good positive stuff for him going into now his 2nd season. There was a pretty big time player, a 4-star interior offensive lineman, 2026 Tommy Tofi, put out at top 8 schools, and USC made that list. He's like a 6'7", 335-pound interior offensive lineman, the number 1 interior offensive lineman in California, and he's from Northern California. And then Xavier Griffin, their top linebacker commit, locked in an official visit on June 20th through the 22nd. A 4-star offensive tackle, Deacon Schmidt, is now down to 8 schools, and USC made that list. He's like 6'5", 320 offensive tackle, the number 1 recruit in the state of Colorado. And then top 10 for James Johnson, a 4-star defensive lineman, has USC in that top 10. So that was great to see. One of the top 2026 wide receivers, Calvin Russell III, is now down to 12 schools. It looks like USC made that list. He's like a 6'5", 195-pound receiver. And then an elite 2027 cornerback, Havon Finney Jr., is a local guy, reclassified to the 2026 class. He's 6'3", 170, the number 5 recruit overall in that 2027 class. We'll see where he ends up in the 2026 class, but USC is one of those schools that he's been really looking at quite a bit because they're obviously a local school, and I think even Kamari Ramsey, who's a safety leader on the team right now, put up some like eye emojis, like looking to the side when he reposted this post. So yeah, we'll see if he ends up at USC. That'll be pretty cool for them. And the USC football team did also make a new hire who's had 35 plus years of coaching, and John McDonnell as a senior offensive analyst, and he was recently with LSU Tigers down there, so he's part of a pretty good squad. So we'll see how he does. And then for Jazzy Davidson, she's one of 5 finalists for this year's Max Preps National Player of the Year. So yeah, that's not surprising. She was a finalist for that Naismith too that I mentioned a couple of videos ago. So hopefully she wins a couple of these, and if not, then it's just at least one. So we'll see. And the Anaheim Ducks, yes, they lost tonight against the Blackhawks, sadly, but they did beat the other day the Vancouver Canucks, if I'm not mistaken, 5-2. So that was great to see. And then I'm gonna go through the rest of this video. Hopefully I can get through it quick enough so you don't have to worry about wasting too much time here. So yes, on the men's baseball side, they did have a freshman Big Ten Player of the Week, and his name was Grant Govil, or Grant pitcher. And they were able to beat Cal State Fullerton, who's one of those top teams out here in California, 5-3. Then they beat UConn the other day, 8-5. They had a big-time upset victory against the number 14 Vanderbilt team, 3-1, who put out some good players here and there. And then House of Victory had a couple signings: defensive tackle Devin Tompkins, defensive lineman Jaw Jarrett, linebacker Garrison Madden, running back Wayman Jordan, and the long snapper Hank Pepper. And the men's volleyball side did defeat Vanguard the other day 3-0, and they defeated Vanguard again 3-0 too. So yeah, congrats to those guys. And baseball, volleyball, even the women's volleyball too. I'll get into that in another video. They had a pretty nice, successful weekend too. But yeah, a lot of things pointing out for these USC Trojans. Hopefully they can continue to fight on. So yes, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Fight on.